I'm rolling, and then we'll do a little for you.
How do I look? Good?
Yeah, and
Well, this is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting conversation.
Oh, yeah. It's always interesting.
All right, so I don't normally write notes down in case I ever get raided. I don't want them to have the evidence.
If you need to, I don't mind.
There's a couple things that I'm intrigued with you by. Someone did an interview on you, and they said that, what would you do about the guns? Most politicians will just lie. They'll say they're going to do this, they're going to promise this, but they obviously don't. You had an honest answer, which intrigued me. It's hard to do anything more than we have, is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this before you were alderman.
Yes.
They asked you these questions before you got the job. And you didn't even bother saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to fix it. You just straight out said, what else can we do when I get in office? Nothing's going to change on that part.
Right.
And I like that honesty. I'm going to get to something else that I want to talk about, but this is very popular.
Okay.
You want to change the name Lakeshore Drive to
Jean Baptiste Point du Sable Drive. and I know everybody say that's a long name, but it's just like Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. We don't go around saying, meet me on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. You say, meet me on King Drive. And then what people will call it is Du Sable Drive. And so, because that's his last name.
That's right.
And so, but it should be named after him. In the downtown area, in our central district, there is no name of an African American male. As you know, Ida B. Wells was the first African American, but African American female that got a street named after her. But in this case, what is so befitting is that this is the founder of Chicago. And for the founder of Chicago to not have a major street or something of very significance that everybody can see named after him, I think is a disservice.
You know, when I first heard this, I was minding my own business, not bothering anybody, and I heard that some alderman wanted to change the name of Lakeshore Drive, and I'm signed on to Foxx Chicago 32 on Facebook. They're local, and they love corruption on certain state politicians. Where did he come up with this one? But I'm a fair person.
Right.
I like to hear people, and I want to hear their side of the story.
Right.
I'm smart, but I don't know everything. I wanted to see what motivated you by this. I wanted to see who this was, by the way.
Absolutely.
And after looking furthermore into it, I see all the comments with everyone, you know, LOL, Facebookers and trollers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have to say, I think you have a legitimate argument, because if this African American legitimately did discover Chicago,
And he's of Haitian descent, absolutely.
where did we get the name Lakeshore Drive from?
Right. Which would be, well, of course.
I
I'm
couldn't
sure
find it.
I'm
That's
sure it's because of the lake, evidently obvious, and it's the lake shore, and so I'm sure someone who put it there and decided to call it Lakeshore Drive. That would be a great thing to look up, or should I say, an interesting thing to look up.
One of the biggest streets is Lakeshore Drive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm not necessarily thinking you were as crazy as I originally thought you were before I read the article.
Yeah.
I like to open things up.
Absolutely.
And it makes sense. Foxx Chicago, Foxx 32, the Dennis Walsh,
Yeah.
he had a few things to say.
Yes.
I like his integrity. I never got to meet him, not right now anyway. After we do this show, I'm going to reach out to him. And my goal is to have him, if it's okay with you in the future, my goal is to have him sit right here.
Okay, that'll be great.
with you to talk these things over.
Okay.
Because I admire you on this, and I truly mean this.
Thank you.
You're doing more for African Americans than Obama has ever done. You're in office, and you're still giving a care about the history.
Absolutely.
And that leads me to another question. Before you had your job, they asked you, what alderman do you look up to? Your answer was Pat Dow, because of her commitment to getting contracts for African American businesses.
Absolutely.
Obama has done nothing for black people since he's been in office and was in office. And I voted for Obama. I fought for him for 8 years.
Right.
I said to myself, this guy is black. He's from Chicago. I'm in. Call me what you will. That's the reason why I voted for him.
Yeah.
8 years went by. Nothing happened besides Rahm. I said, crap. So I give you credit for still caring about your roots.
Absolutely.
Still caring about the Chicago roots. Kwame Raoul.
It's Haitian descent.
Huh?
He's of Haitian descent.
Have you met him before?
Oh yes, absolutely.
How is he as a person?
He's a wonderful person. He's a not only a very smart person, but very calculating in terms of wanting to get things right. But that's part of that lawyer in him. I'm more of a risk taker. I do assess situations, but if I feel in my spirit, especially if it's the right thing to do, and I do my homework, then I move on it. But I think that's why he's Attorney General, because he's very thoughtful and calculating, and I have great respect for Kwame Raoul.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm concerned about him.
Why is that?
I'm just concerned. I'm lost for words. I want to be respectful, and I want to and I want to be honest. I want to be honest.
I'm very direct.
Yeah.
And so everybody know that about me in the council, and I prefer people to be that way with me, because that's
right.
how I get to respond or not respond.
Do you
to
think
something.
Kwame Raoul really runs that office?
Attorney General's office?
Yeah.
I'm hoping he does. Nothing has given me any indication that he doesn't. But again, I have not been focusing on the Attorney General's office. So
Right.
you may have some information that I'm not privy to
Yeah.
or aware of, that if I need to know about it and look into it, I don't mind doing that.
Right.
But he hasn't given me any pause to believe that he isn't.
Okay, good answer. I sent him a proposal to fix Chicago. It was Operation Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And this proposal is 100% concrete. It's designed for 3 individuals, 3 agencies, 3 humans, call it what you want. Inglewood, Little Village, and the Chicago Police Department.
Okay.
It's a 100% concrete to fix those areas. I've been saying for years that some state government wants crime to happen because crime pays.
Well, I've said that, there is profit and poverty, number one. And poverty then breeds crime. So everything begins with poverty, not crime. Crime is a subset, if you will, of poverty. And so it's the residual of poverty. So if in most cases, if you're not in poverty, you don't have a lot of crime. And there is a direct correlation. So there's profit in poverty on a lot of different people ends. And so there are a lot of people. That's why it kills me why you look and see so many people having not-for-profit organizations. And you say, well, all these not-for-profit organizations, nobody's doing anything, because mostly people making money through administrative costs. And the direct money isn't going to the services in many occasions. And so there's
Like the education system, they had to hire 7 administrators who make over 6 figures before the money gets released to the students.
Before the money get released. So those are the things, and that's why where I am when people say business, well, I'm pro-business at. I think from a business standpoint, I spent years in accounting in the private sector. And so my thing is I'm first pro-business. And I have to think business, because business want to help the public sector. But that guy who we talk about that's rich, that's spending money on a second yacht and a third home, he's looking at waste. And he said, if I'm going to waste money in the public sector, I'm not going to waste it. I'll go ahead and go buy my second yacht or home. But if anything I admire about Mayor Lori Lightfoot, before doing anything else, she came in and found efficiencies and said, let me clean up. And that's what I think businesses want us to do. Clean up government, clean up waste, get rid of your waste. And then if you have shortfalls, we want to come in and help. But I'm not going to let you waste my money too. Yeah. I can waste my own money. And that's real.
You like Kim Foxx?
I admire Kim Foxx. I supported Kim Foxx. I still support Kim Foxx.
Kim Foxx is the only person that I would take a bullet for. From Cabrini Green.
Right.
Cabrini Green.
Cabrini, yes.
And a lot of people don't know what Cabrini Green is unless they're,
what it used to be, right.
Yeah. I mean, how is she still alive beats me.
You know.
And she's from Cabrini Green, and now she's in this office.
Yes, and she gives her testimony about what she's been through in life. I think she was, if I'm not mistaken, molested or raped at a young age, and she talks about that. And just the mentality of that. Don't forget about, but put to the side at this moment for coming from Cabrini Green. But even, I don't care if you came from a rich house and that happened to you, the mentality and having to deal with that takes a strong person and a strong person of faith like she has to have overcome all of that and be where she is today. So I'm a big fan of Kim Foxx.
I didn't know that about her.
She tells that testimony. She
really?
gives it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, the Jesse, I call him a fruit roll-up. I call him a fruit roll-up. But the world knows him as Jesse Smollett.
Well, I don't know what's
my only problem.
What's the comedian?
Yeah,
what's his name?
Some failed stupid show. I don't know.
No.
Okay. I don't know. And I don't. You know what? Everyone wants to be famous.
Right.
Everyone wants to have their name out there, and I'm not knocking that down. My problem with the fruit roll-up case is Kim Foxx seems to be paying the price when it was really Ting Chung, Obama's former aide. Obama's former aide is the one who initiated and started that conversation with Kim Foxx.
Right.
And the whole media is saying Kim Foxx did it, Kim Foxx did this. And if you want to go after somebody, go after Obama's former aide. She's the one who initiated it by saying he's a friend of the families, we wanted to get concerned. Why are you hanging out Kim Foxx, who worked very hard in the media, for what Ting Chung did?
Right, and I think there are more people, the masses like you, that know that. Sometimes if I have more money than you, I can sometimes get that message out. But although I get it out, a lot of people are not listening to it. Trust me, it's not carrying weight. As I walk through communities, as I will talk to people, really the Jesse Smollett thing is the least thing on their mind.
I hope so.
As it relates to Kim Foxx.
I hope so.
The least thing, trust me.
Is it good? Because I go to YouTube, I go to Google, I see Fox, and when you do a Google search of Kim Foxx, Jesse Smollett comes up, Jesse Smollett, fruit roller comes up, and I'm like, wow, how about Cabrini Green? And if you really want to be honest, and this is just a fact of life, I think unless you're a murderer, a rapist, or something in that nature, Cook County Jail is just a new form of slavery.
It totally is, but.
And I don't mean to stop you really fast before I lose my thought.
Yeah,
No, it's okay. Just so you know, the fruit roll-up, Jesse Smollett, Kim Foxx, her office let go. She let a lot of people go because if you're not a violent offender, that's not her target. And she's trying to get the violent offenders off.
Right.
So if I did the same thing that the fruit roll-up did, she probably would have let me go too.
Right, and I think what she said, and she said it in her commercial. She felt she could have done some things better, and she owns that. And that
like what?
And that probably
what could she have done better?
Probably giving him probation. He didn't belong in jail, but you don't let him off with. And I've said that.
He didn't know. He did not belong in jail.
I
No.
said that probation, community service, something. He shouldn't have walked, in our opinion, shouldn't have walked away scot-free. But there's nothing so damning that with all the work that Kim Foxx has done to hang that over
Right.
her head. And so my point becomes, people don't give voters enough credit. They're smarter than you think. And as I talk to voters in all walks of life, they're not even thinking about that at all. So that is not gonna, that whoever, the people that run against her, that's what they feel, that they can push and prime. And there are few voters there are people, and I do some hard work in my community, will never vote for me. Regardless of what I do, I can come and shine their shoes, I can do everything else. They're just people that will not vote for you. And so those are the people that individuals or those individuals are reaching.
Why do you think people won't vote for you?
I mean, there are people, it's just like in life. You can walk down the street, there are people, I don't like him. Why? I don't like the way he walk. I don't like the way he wear that Chicago White Sox stuff. I just don't like him.
Well, there's people who don't like me.
And that's my point.
But I expose their corruption.
But even if you don't.
I film them cheating on their wives.
But there are people that don't like you, probably, that you don't know, that just don't like you. Just for that. And that's sometimes.
That's because their girlfriend wants me. I can't help that.
And that could be that too.
I tell them, your sister, I got a girlfriend. I can't date you. But they don't like it.
Sometimes that's human nature. And so that's why you got people. And those people, you just have to know, hey, you're never going to change them.
Okay.
You're never going to, no matter what you do, you're never going to be good enough. And that's just life.
That's right. Okay. Rahm Emanuel. I hate that guy. He's a civilian.
I mean, hate is a strong word.
I hate him. Over 4,000 people. You're right. I agree with you. And you know what? I need to be a better Christian. I really do. You're right. You're humble. I'm not. Over 4,000 people have died since he was office. 4,000. And he could have fixed it with the surveillance cameras, but instead he chose to add more red light cameras. I hold them partially responsible for those 4,000 people who died in Chicago because his interest was somewhere else. I don't think a lot of people care about Inglewood, Little Village, and the Chicago Police Department. Those three people could die, and state politicians.
But what they don't understand, and you bring up something critical, is that if you sleep on those, it impacts the entire city. If you sleep on places like Inglewood, and you sleep on places like Austin and things like that, and Little Village, and you don't put those resources there, you're going to see the impact throughout the city. I tell everybody this: when you help the least of those, everybody benefit. And the best way I can explain it, if I got a person that does not have a job, I give him a job, he's going to spend his money at a white place, a Chinese place, an Arab place, a Jewish place. Everybody gonna benefit from him having that job. So when things go to the top, it doesn't necessarily trickle down. But all the stuff that's given down, it comes up. And so help the least of those. And so when you forget about those communities, the crime that you think that's happening over there, you're like, oh, that's not affecting me. It's going to eventually affect you. Maybe not today, but it will tomorrow. And I promise you that, either through violence or through economics, some way it's going to impact you. Because right now, when people are losing their homes, when things are happening over in Inglewood and people screaming about their property taxes, if I got a fire department that costs me $10 million a year, just say that just say if I got a fire, well, just say $3 million. I got a fire department that's costing me $3 million. That's price tag is there. Somebody got to pay for it through the taxes. So if I don't have homes in Inglewood absorbing those gases, guess who's going to absorb those taxes?
I understand.
Those homes up north and everywhere else. Pay attention and make sure those communities get redeveloped. And that's the key. Everything that we do should be focused around redeveloping those communities.
So you do like Rahm?
I don't dislike anyone.
Really?
I ain't gonna say I don't dislike anyone. I don't hate anyone. I had with Rahm, it was about policies. If the policy wasn't right, I challenged Rahm. Rahm and I began to understand.
Did you guys ever fight?
Physically?
Yeah.
Nah.
Did anybody ever fight?
Nobody.
No one ever fights. See, someone told me.
I don't think anybody. Since I've been a counselor, I don't see anybody that ever came to blows. You know.
See, a smart person told me that I should run for alderman. And I just see me, if I was an alderman, I see me going to jail for a short time. Because I would have told Rom, this is what we're doing. I don't care how much money you get from this business. I know what you're doing. I know your side deals. I get it. Steal your money. Do what you do. I don't care. But let's help Inglewood and Little Village and the Chicago Police Department, because right now they're the worst hurting. A lot of them are hurting, but those are the worst. We could provide the Chicago Police Department with more tools, body armor. Commander Bauer in the Thompson Center, he didn't have to go.
All right.
We could have gave him body armor. In Will County Jail, they got a tactical unit where if an inmate acts up, those correctional officers don't go and get him. They push the button, and about 5 tactical guys come
Right.
with body armor.
Wow.
You could spit on them, you could kick them, it won't faze them.
Mm-hmm.
So why couldn't we give that to the Chicago Police Department so they have a tactical unit? Just like Irving Park.
Right.
Cop got shot in his head with a tempo. That didn't have to happen. He had body armor. But see, we don't give the police department these things.
Well,
and the police, they're not like me. They're going to just go, you know.
Well, and there's pushback. That all sounds good, and trust me, people have on different things have fought on different fronts. But you need always, and you can say this is what we're going to do.
This is what we're going to do.
But you need 26 other people to go with you.
I got these.
Okay.
I got
You need
these.
26 other people, and when you're talking about money and things like that, and you got to convince those people these are the things we need to spend on. But you got some advocates who are right now saying, hey, we don't need to be spending this on police and we don't need to be spending that on police, which I don't agree with. But you still need funding and have to take those choices for development as well. I think we have to make sure our police, the resources that's needed to police are there. Because at the end of the day, when people get in trouble, some of the same people that scream are the first ones that call, and we have to make sure that.
Yeah.
And so what I think they're mixing our resources with our police with the actions of policing, and you cannot mix the two.
When you're the mayor or you're an alderman, this is just me, and obviously I already know your answer because you're doing it now. When you're the mayor or an alderman, first, top priority, safety. That's the first thing. Black, white, cops, pick a color. They're all the same to me. I really have a problem, and I never understood why people in Inglewood and Little Village and the Chicago Police Department, they go at it. There's a lot of people who hate the police, and there's some police who don't like the people in the ghetto. And I'm just like, you haven't figured it out? You're both here. You're both getting shot. You're both getting fucked. You're both getting hurt. You're both dying by the numbers. You haven't figured this out? So if I become alderman, I can't do this to Mayor Lori Lightfoot because I like her. Mm-hmm. And plus she's a female. Rom, woo, the mayor, I would sit her down and say, I have this plan. And I'm trying to do this with Kwame. But Kwame tells me no. So
have you
Kwame Raoul?
So he saw you know he saw the plan, whatever the plan is. I don't know what the plan is.
I don't. That's that's what makes me wonder. Does Kwame Raoul really run the Attorney General's office, or do other people run that office?
You got to sometimes, and this has happened.
That's a good question, though. Did he see my plan? I don't know.
This is even in my office, and I got a staff of 3 full-time people and 2 part-time people. Is that you'll get a phone call, Alderman, did you get this? I'm like, no.
Okay, you're right.
You know, and I go in, well, we didn't think it was that. What you mean you didn't think it was that? Anything somebody give me, I want it. You know, or, it's something like that. So when you gotta, and then you get people who do power plays in the larger offices because they're always trying to position themselves to be the head person's top go-to person. And they'll end up making decisions that stays. He's doing a lot. And then somebody mailing him something or somebody handing it to one piece and make sure he gets that. Okay, we will. And they go sit on their desk and there's nowhere to be found.
Okay. Should I go to his house and drop it off? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give the proposal to you. Do you speak to Kwame?
I don't see him a lot.
You don't
I
see him a lot. Have you met him before?
Oh, yeah, a number of times.
Number of times.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
He's okay.
No, he is.
He's stable?
He is. Totally.
He's stable.
Totally.
He just got married.
Totally. He's even more stable now.
I
Once you
think
get married,
so.
you're even more stable,
And
right?
he married a doctor, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
doctors, by nature, they care.
Yeah.
That's why they got into the field.
You know what? You always go to the person. Did you get a name of the person that you gave it to?
All of them.
Okay. Did you follow up with that person?
Yeah. They told me no.
Oh,
They did not want to save Inglewood, and I'm going to watch my words because you are correct. The Attorney General Kwame Raoul did not tell me no himself.
Mm-hmm.
He may have not have saw my Operation Chicago proposal
Right.
for the Chicago Police Department and Inglewood and Little Village. His people, Brett Stratton, which is his chief of staff, but he was Lisa Madigan's chief of staff before. And you know the Madigans, they're corrupt. I mean, we won't open up that door. He told me no, and he emailed me, and he said, we told you no over and over and over again. So I'm not going to stop because that proposal I'm not getting any money from. Mm-hmm. Do you do stand-up?
I do not.
You sure?
I'm positive, but you probably get it from a lot of people say I look like Tommy Davidson, and I think it's true. So, yeah, we met each other back in the 90s at All Jokes Aside. It was a comedy club on Wabash, and we walked down the hall right past one another, just looked at each other and just shook our heads, you know. So
half the time while we were sitting here, I'm trying to figure out, this guy looks familiar. I'm listening and I'm laughing in the inside because you got that look. Like, people tell me if I made a cartoon of myself, it'd be a hit. I think they should make a cartoon out of you.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd be a good cartoon character. Tommy Davidson, he's a masterful comedian. Played on In Living Color, and just a multi-talented individual.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
all right. I know your time is limited. Cannabis. I got to go bug Kwame Raoul some more, too.
Okay.
So, Cannabis, you're in the fights with that.
Well, you know, what we were trying to do is make sure that there was social equity in this. You have on January 1, these dispensaries coming online, and there's not one African American or not one Latino operator. And we were just trying to delay it to get a lot of unanswered questions answered, and some issues addressed by the state, and whatever we can work with the mayor to put together at the city level to ensure equity, because this is all part of development. When we talk about our underserved communities and development, which is my focal point for these next 4 to 8 years, if they reelect me again, in our communities, is redeveloping Inglewood and Arbor Gresham and our Chicago-Lawn communities. And that piece, these multi-billion-dollar industry, this is the new tech. As you look at throughout the country, marijuana going legal is the new tech industry. And to have no representation from any minorities in that, including women, is unacceptable. And so that's what we were just pushing for the delay. It failed. Unfortunately, it failed yesterday. And now the onus is on, I say, the governor and the mayor to make sure that equity happens now.
This is not your fault, but do you think that the state government is a hypocrite because at first they locked up thousands, and I'm not even going to talk about what race they are because we all know that. I don't know who has it worse, the black people and the Hispanic people who went to jail and prison for selling weed, or the white people and the taxpayers who had to pay for all of us to be in the new form of slavery. Okay? Do you think it's a big hypocrite that once upon a time they locked all of us up for having a nickel bag of weed?
Right.
They made a big deal. Cops, the TV show, Bad Boys, 1990.
Right.
Call 911, raise the alert level. He has a nickel bag of weed. And now the state government is selling it themselves. Do you think?
For revenue. I think that the hypocrisy comes in not making those affected communities whole from that. That's where the hypocrisy comes in at. And that's why we were trying to hold this. Just like anybody that gets locked up, unjustly. And then you let them out. Okay, we sorry, but you don't give them any
Right.
money
Where's the money?
or no compensation. And if you did that, man, that's totally
Right.
hypocrisy, wrong. And it's the same situation
Right.
here. And so you basically have locked these people up, let them out, and now says you don't get any money.
Speaking of money, first of all, let me give you this. This Operation Chicago
Okay.
T-shirt.
Thank you.
I hope you like it. It's 100% polyester. So when your girl or your wife, are you married?
I'm not married.
Okay, you have a girl?
I-
You have plenty of them.
No.
You're the older man.
No. I'm always praying to God for a wife. That's
Real?
that's
Are
what
you
I'm doing.
serious?
Yes.
I could help you out.
You can help me out.
I know a lot of women. And they would love to hang out with you. All you gotta do is tell them you're an alderman, and they're gonna see this
then
too.
the ones I don't want then, because
I
I'm
know.
more than just my title.
I used to tell people that I was a rapper, and I was trying to find a girl without them knowing I was a rapper. And I know what you mean.
Right.
I totally know what you mean. That shirt is 100% polyester.
Okay.
Girls see me all the time. You know how they go like this? They touch your arm. I think that's a hypocrite. They're getting
when they
cheap
touch it,
thrills.
they're getting
Yeah,
cheap.
like, hey, how are you? And it's like
So
me
you gonna
going
have
up to their
you gonna have your own-
boobs.
you gonna
Hey,
have your-
how are you?
You're going to have your U2 moment, right?
Right, yeah. And, you know, if I went
Not
up
me
to
too, your U2.
yeah, right. They always do that to me, and I know I got, I'm cut. They always go, "Hey, how are you?" If I did, "Good, how are you?" I'd be so much trouble. But when the reason why I designed the shirt 100% polyester is because when they do this, they're gonna feel that it's rock, and it's polyester,
Right.
and they like that.
Now, what I do want to do, I don't know if you have it. I'm not going to be the one to commit it to get it to Kwame, but I want to look at Operation Chicago, because what I always believed in.
Thank you.
And I truly believe this, because you didn't even offer for me to see it.
I'm saving that for the end.
When people have ideas,
I got donations,
when
so
people
requests
have-
for 2 at the
when
end too.
people have ideas in our city, although sometimes you may not like the wholeness, there's always something in there. It has not failed me yet.
Mm-hmm.
That could help move our city along.
Let's do this,
and
if you
so-
don't mind. And I thank you. I know your time is limited, so that's why I keep cutting you off, because I know you have a function to go to. I thank you. You couldn't make me happier for what you just said. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm okay with money. I got my family, got my girl. I'm okay. I mean, life, I'm okay. But Inglewood and the police department are not okay. Kwame's okay. But Inglewood and the police department are not okay. My good friend asked me, what does that have to do with you? I don't know. Because I can.
And
I can fix it.
You can, and
I'm a
it has a lot
citizen.
to do with when people start.
If it happens to you, then you want people like me to prevent this.
Absolutely.
So let's do this, if you don't mind. I definitely will give this operation to you. Can you take into consideration of contacting Kwame, setting up a meeting with him, you and me, either behind closed doors or having him here, because you bring up a good point. He may not be seeing this. It may be that those white people up there, and they may, like slavery days, they wanted the slaves to fight each other. It's like Democrats and Republicans. They got a good scam going on, man. They got a good scam. They got Democrats and Republicans, liberals, conservatives, CNN, Fox, Rachel Maddow. Let's spread the propaganda. Let's separate all the American people. Let them fight each other on the streets and at home, and they'll be distracted from us.
Right.
And I'm more like,
Yeah.
that's a great scam. I never thought of that one.
Well, people don't realize that's what really got Malcolm X assassinated, and people are missing that.
What did?
When he started talking about going to the UN, and he was talking about the focus on the haves and the have-nots. So when you're dividing black and white, that's easy. So you can keep them fighting. Then you got some black people that's rich and wealthy. You got some black people that's rich and wealthy, white, but everybody out here fighting for crumbs. And his focus was, no, this thing's not about all black and white. It's about the haves and the have-nots. And when he started looking at it from that perspective and going to the UN, people like, wait, we talking about black and white. We cool. We let them live there. We keep them divided. But now you're going to wake them up, and he's going to be focusing on
Oh yeah.
That's what did it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I better
And
stop
so-
mentioning Kwame Raoul. I might get assassinated. The people who run his office, they're probably like, oh shit, he's on to us. He knows that Kwame don't run this office.
No,
He's going to fix Chicago Police Department and Inglewood. We got to get this
Now,
dude.
what I will commit to, I'm always very honest. I'm not going to seek him out, but I do run him to occasion at events, and you have my word that when I see him,
I believe
will
you.
let you know him. Hey,
I believe
there's-
you.
And he just want to know, did you get the packet? To contact him or whatever, you know.
Did you get the packet?
And if he tells me, you know what, I'm just not interested, I'll let you know that.
And
that
that's
way
what
you won't have to even think about if he is or not, or if this is just his people.
right. If he's not interested, that concerns me.
But I'm just saying, he may say I am. I don't know.
I
I'm
know.
Just saying
Let's just say hypothetically he does say he's not interested. Doesn't that concern you as Attorney
I'd rather
General?
say hypothetically, I hope he say, depending, I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So I can't say if he would be yet.
fair enough.
So it may,
Fair enough.
I don't know what it says. So
Fair
for
enough.
him to be interested, so I don't want to take it either or, and I haven't looked at it yet.
Fair enough. Last question, and I thank you for that. You're seeking a wife.
Yes. Always. Yes. Yes.
So
I'd rather be married.
I got some people who follow me on YouTube. So you're single. How can they reach out to you if they're interested?
You know, I usually look at it as a situation. It would happen. It'll find you.
Are you on Match.com?
No.
Are you on Tinder?
No.
Are you
none
on
of that.
Alderman.com? No. Okay.
No.
So when you
I
go
think
out on a date,
I think the right situation, it finds you, and you will know
Okay.
it, and it happens. You
I
know?
think Kim Foxx got some friends. Maybe Kwame Raoul's wife, she got some friends.
doctor friends, right?
So she got some doctor friends. You seem like a good, funny, you're honest. When you go out on a date, or if you go out with someone,
it takes a special person, because this is a calling. I tell people there are two people that I watch. Anybody saying they want to be an elected official, and anybody saying they want to be a preacher. Those things, I keep my eye on them carefully, because those are not things you seek. Those are callings on your life. You give up your life, you give up your time, you give up your family, and no one in their right mind
Right.
wants to do that type of thing. And when I say in your right mind, is that's not always your choice.
Right.
Give up your family, give up your time, give up everything. But it's my passion. I never feel like I'm working a day in my life. And so it takes somebody special, that's what I'm saying, to understand someone like that.
Right.
So usually God is going to attract that type of special person to you. Because
Okay.
when you're gone a lot, when you're serving other people and not serving them, they have to be understanding to
Okay.
that. Those take special people.
No, I agree with fully, yeah. How do you feel about corruption in Alderman?
I don't like corruption at all. I think, and that's why I say it's a calling. Because when this is a calling, you're not looking for this thing to make money. If you get in politics to make money, then you're in the wrong business.
Right.
And I believe that people, when they do that, they will get exposed. And that's why people get exposed, because in my opinion, you're messing with God's people. You're there to help the least of those. You're there to help the people who are the most vulnerable and that don't have a voice.
Isn't it very easy for an alderman to find himself into some deep shit? Like, for an example, if I wanted to do something, maybe not in your ward, because I don't think too many people care about your ward and Inglewood, which is the problem. If someone like Ed Burke, the Burger King, I don't know what he was thinking. Those people were from Texas. He said, allegedly, hire my law firm and I'll give you a permit.
Well, and
And those people in Texas said, why would I hire your law firm? I just want the permit.
Well, we're using that word allegedly.
Okay.
And until all the facts come out, because all the facts are not out.
Did you meet Ed Burke?
Oh, I consider Ed Burke a friend.
Really?
I consider him a friend. Absolutely.
You are one honest person.
I consider him a friend.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you think
he's been a friend to me? He was a friend to my pastor, Reverend Clay Evans.
Really?
Who just passed away.
Okay.
I consider Ed Burke a friend.
Okay.
Do I agree with everything? Heck, no. But I don't agree with everything my mama do. But she's still my mama. And so, yeah, so absolutely.
Okay. All right. No, honestly. You like Michael Madigan?
I don't know him that closely. Any interaction that I had with Speaker Madigan has been cordial. We've talked, and it's been minimal conversation.
Really?
We've been
Okay.
very respectful for one another. So I do not dislike
You ever
Speaker
meet
Madigan.
Michael Jordan?
Once
Really?
at
Oh, come on,
I'm
man.
about to tell you where it was at. So it was.
You know what's sad is I'd rather meet.
It was at the Cotton Club.
Really?
Back in, it was the 90s, and I'm thinking maybe 94, 95. And Bernie Mac was there that night doing comedy. True story. It wasn't even a packed house.
I miss Bernie.
Yes, it wasn't even a packed house. He was in some overalls. He was with his wife Juanita and Felicia Rashad's husband. What his name? Used to do the sports. Used to play for the Minnesota Vikings.
Juanita. I remember.
Not
that.
Juanita Rashad.
Yeah.
Not Felicia Rashad. That
Yeah.
played on the Cosby Show. Her husband. He was a wide receiver for the
Yeah.
Vikings. Ahmad Rashad. God. So him, Michael Jordan.
Like
Ahmad.
the news anchor.
No, he was a sports. He was a sports commentator for NFL, but he was also a wide receiver for
Really?
the Minnesota Vikings before.
Ahmad?
Ahmad Rashad, yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver for the Vikings.
Really?
And before he became a sports anchor,
Did you talk to Michael Jordan?
for about, as a security guard allowed me, a good 30 seconds. A good 30 seconds. It was this dude was so huge, it was ridiculous.
Right.
His head was bigger than my arm.
Jordan
No,
played.
I'm talking about the security guard's head was bigger than my arm.
Yeah, I believe it. Jordan played with his mind.
Oh, yes.
He didn't play with these. He played here.
He was.
He
But
got
who else
in your
did?
head.
You know who else did that? Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
No, seriously.
Yeah.
It was just a different way. Dennis Rodman would get in the head of he was. Don't
Yeah.
sell Dennis Rodman short. I know.
Oh,
you
I
do
love
things-
that.
I tell
I-
people
yeah.
that, man, Dennis Rodman was very thoughtful in terms of how he played.
What celebrity would you want to meet?
The celebrity that I wanted to meet has passed on, and that was Michael Jackson.
Really?
So right,
All right.
for me, since
What-
other than Reverend Evans, who's passed on, nobody else really excited me.
Really?
After being in the presence of Reverend Evans, growing up with Reverend Evans, nothing else excites me. If I meet people, I'm like, okay, cool. Reverend Evans was the top
Right.
to me,
All
and
right.
still is.
What
Nothing else impresses me.
Yeah, I hear you. What female actress would you want to meet or date? If you could date anyone. Don't tell me Michelle Obama.
No, you said actress. She's not an
Okay,
actress.
what female on planet Earth would you like to date?
The one that plays on
I'm gonna reach out to her.
the one that plays on Empire.
What? Oh, that's gonna be easy. I got so many cats on Empire.
Cookie, what they call her? What's her name?
Really?
Cookie. Yeah,
Cookie.
I'm not getting her real name.
It's okay. I'll
real
track her
name's not
down.
coming to me. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna make you a deal. You get me a hold of Kwame Raoul. I'm gonna get you in touch with Cookie. We got a deal. You get a phone call from Cookie. That's your alert to say, "Oh, Alderman, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. No, thank you so much.
This has been really fun. It's been an
No,
honor.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get a hold of Dan Walsh from Fox.
Okay.
Dennis Walsh.
Dennis
See if he
Walsh.
wants to join us.
Okay.
I can't speak for him, but if he
Alright,
does, I
gotcha.
think it'll be fun.
Well, let me know.
I wish you Merry Christmas, man.
Likewise. Thank you for inviting me into your home.
Oh, absolutely.